Alright, we finally have a Houston Rockets video here with the trade deadline coming in around 3 days from now. I am recording this on February 7th, so I really do expect some Houston Rockets movement around the trade deadline in around 3 days because obviously a lot of news surrounding Eric Gordon, to name one player. Augustine, who has some interest, David Nwaba, Daniel Tice, all these guys have some trade interest. So we're going to break it down today, talking about what teams these guys could possibly go to and any moves the Houston Rockets would do moving forward. So what's up? I'm JDC. I do Rockets/NBA videos that you'd like to see. Drop a like down below and press the sub button. I appreciate all the support. Raptors content has been going off lately, but, Houston is where it's at, and, it's my favorite team. But, yeah, I appreciate all the support as of late, and we're going to keep going here. So, we got a Houston Rockets video here today. Looking at the roster right now, we have a good mix of, vets and young players. We got Augustine, who's probably the oldest player at 34 years old. Eric Gordon, who's 33. Got Christian Wood, who's 26. David Nwaba, 29. We have all of these old and young guys on the team. A pretty great mix of the young and the old. And I really expect most of the old players to be gone pretty soon. I think David Nwaba is definitely one of our most tradable assets as of right now. Apparently, he was getting a lot of trade interest alongside Daniel Tice. So if we can look to move David Nwaba or Daniel Tice for a couple of picks, not saying that they're worth a couple of picks, but maybe a first round pick for either of them, or maybe a couple of seconds, and maybe like a young player that, hasn't been getting too many minutes on other teams, I'm taking that deal. David Nwaba isn't getting any minutes. Same thing with Daniel Tice and Augustine. So really the one true person I wanted to talk about today is Eric Gordon. Now, ahead of the trade deadline, I think he should be able to be dealt pretty soon. He is pretty much injured right now. He's day-to-day. He has a heel soreness, I want to say, or heel strain. I forgot what it was. He is injured right now, so he can't really play. So he can't get any more injured than what he is right now is basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Eric Gordon, ahead of the trade deadline, I think he's going to be gone pretty soon. The Cavaliers, they obviously traded for Caris LeVert, so there's pretty much no chance they get Eric Gordon because I don't think they can afford him. But a lot of teams have some interest in him. I forgot what source this came from. I'm going to hope that I find it. But the Houston Rockets apparently have two offers that are first-round picks from two other teams. So the Houston Rockets are basically waiting if there's going to be a better trade for Eric Gordon, which there probably isn't because, it's 3 days left into the trade deadline. Maybe a team is willing to offer a pretty huge package on the last day. We're probably waiting for that day where another team is going to be overselling or overbuying on an Eric Gordon trade. So I don't know. Eric Gordon, there's a lot of teams that he'd fit on. The Suns would be one of them. The Raptors would be pretty cool. I talked about him last video. I don't even know, honestly. The Cavs would obviously be a great fit because off the bench, Ricky Rubio's out. So being on the bench for the Cavs would be a good six-man role for him. The Golden State Warriors would be also pretty interesting. Not that the Warriors have any assets to trade, but that'd be pretty interesting. The Lakers, a good six-man right there, gives them that scoring and that playmaking that they really need because bench depth is pretty much an issue for the Lakers. But yeah, Eric Gordon is definitely the face of the trade deadline for the Houston Rockets. And if we're really looking at what he would be packaged with, it'd probably be either Augustine, David Nwaba, or Daniel Tice. It's pretty much situational. If a team is looking for a good veteran in DJ Augustine that can play the point guard, then he would be packaged with Eric Gordon. If a team is looking for a good forward in David Nwaba, then he would be traded in that package too. And if a team needs a backup center in Daniel Tice, then I would think that he would be paired up with Eric Gordon too. And we haven't even talked about the possibility of basically all these players getting traded together. So I feel like once most of the players are traded on this roster, we're going to have a lot of spots to fill. One of the spots I want to fill is Jae'sean Nix. So Jae'sean Nix, I think he has a lot of potential to become a pretty great backup point guard for this team. And him and Josh Christopher off the bench would be pretty electric alongside, Şengün, Usman Guru. But we have all these guys off the bench. And I think Jae'sean Nix has a lot of potential to become a great playmaker in this league. Obviously, G League stats have been absolutely amazing. I think he's like second in steals per game behind his running mate Trevelin Queen. If I look up Jae'sean Nix stats, it's going to be absolutely amazing. He's one of the highest points per game scorer in the G League right now, and he's only 19 years old. So we got to think about that for a second. If Jae'sean Nix was averaging these stats in the G League Ignite, I think he would have been a top 10 prospect. You know, he was averaging, if you look at his G League stats right now, he is averaging around 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. He's been absolutely amazing for this Rio Grande Vipers team, and I think pretty soon he's going to be called up. Nothing is too confirmed, but once we get some trades going, I think he's going to be called up pretty soon. So if we're looking at overall stats, 48 from the field and 39 from 3, there's just no chance that Jae'sean Nix doesn't get called up and gets a guaranteed contract because he is on a two-way. So I think he really deserves that contract overall, but I think we need to take a chance on him. I think we need to take a chance on a lot of these players, you know, Armani Brooks, Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba. We need to play all of our young guys because I think this season is pretty much a wash. There's just no way that we make it into the playoffs / the play-in. There's just no way. We're not like the Toronto Raptors where we can really just turn it around. So I think this season is mostly a wash. We should just play our young guys, develop them. Jalen Green, we got to experiment what's good and what's bad for him, what's going to work for him. Run some plays for him because Steven Silas, I don't know. He's kind of on and off for me. Right now, he's kind of off because he hasn't been running too many plays for Jalen. But yeah, I mean, this Houston Rockets team, I think they're going to be sellers by the trade deadline. So hopefully we can see some moves pretty soon. I'm going to expect Eric Gordon to at least be gone by then. So that's the video. I'm GDC. I'm out. Peace.